Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the FauxShow. Today is Thursday, April 11th. My name is Angela.
And my name is Chris.
And as most of you know, the FauxShow is not a real show. It is a social experience because I don't look at you. I look at the chat room, which I have here on my iPad.
That chat room, I've got that stinking chat room full screen on my screen.
It's over there on a monitor where we can see ourselves.
Boom.
You're bam. And it's over here on this monitor, too.
Come on, really?
Well, get to it.
And it is in the best lower third on the internet, the jblive.tv chat room, who have joined us at this 8 p.m. late hour Pacific over on a Thursday night. And they are supplying our chat room with content as the show goes.
Right
Extra
there.
content. It's like you got 2 hosts here and then like another 200 hosts there.
Yeah.
Better hosts in a lot of ways.
jblive.tv. All right, so today we are going to talk about caffeine.
My favorite topic.
And as in the pre-show we discussed, no, I'm not going to ruin caffeine for you like I did milk.
Okay, all right, good. Because
Okay.
I'm going to get defensive if you do.
But I'm going to have a couple recommendations for you about when you consume your caffeine and what else you might need to do. Just to supplement your diet.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Caffeine.
Yeah. I've got to say, caffeine is...
Okay, well, so first we're going to learn about caffeine, okay? 15 things you should know about caffeine.
Okay.
First, isolated in coffee back in 1820, caffeine is the tacit drug of choice for millions as it can be found in numerous popular beverages and medications. Not a lot of people stop to appreciate what it is and what it does. However, all right, so the delicious chemical name for caffeine is 1,3,7 trimethylhexathene. Yeah.
I actually don't think there's anything delicious about caffeine at all. I think it's actually kind of considered bitter.
Yeah, I thought it was bitter too, but
Yeah.
okay. Caffeine occurs naturally in 60 different plants, but the most common, coffee beans, tea leaves, guarana, which is the energy drink caffeine, yerba mate, and cola nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Caffeine is extracted by pressure cooking beans and leaves with CO2 to produce the drug in a powder form. And one thing that you might not know is that the caffeine powder is actually white.
I did know.
Oh, how did you know? How would you know that?
You know, I have seen caffeine powder sold as a separate supplement to be added to food and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. All right. 90% of Americans consume caffeine in some form each day. Not surprised. Okay?
Yeah, not at all.
All right. Well, because first of all, caffeine's in chocolate.
Yeah,
so-
I mean, it's like in a lot of
Even if you
things.
don't drink it, consume it specifically, you have it in foods. Okay.
Yeah.
Caffeine works by increasing your dopamine levels, which makes you feel happier.
Boy, isn't that true?
Right? And it blocks the adenosine
Receptors.
Yeah.
This is the actual key component, I believe. Now, I don't know anything about the brain or about medicine, but what I have learned, and maybe you've heard a little bit about this, is caffeine doesn't wake you up per se. Caffeine blocks the receptors in your brain that make you sleepy.
Yeah, it just plugs the drowsy factor.
Right. And that's why energy drinks also include like an S ton of sugar and things like that, because then you're getting the receptor blockers and you're getting the sugar to artificially bring up your energy level.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So caffeine is shown to temporarily increase one's ability to learn, which I was really surprised that would be like officially in an infographic like this. But
yeah, and not only that, not to step on their little bullet point there, but studies have shown that it can improve your memory. But what's more interesting than that is your memory retention is better if you remember something on caffeine, and then when you go to recall it, you're also on caffeine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they've shown that you're actually
Well,
you'll
sure,
recall
because
things
it's going
better.
to take the same path, the same work.
But wouldn't you think that caffeine or not, if you remember something, you remember it?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, according to this, you remember it better if you also use caffeine to recall it.
Well, anyway, so it increases comprehension, memory, reflexes, and clarity of thought. Caffeine works the same parts of the brain as cocaine and amphetamines.
Heyo.
And heroin. It just has milder effects. On the other hand, caffeine can also cause adverse effects. Right? We all know that.
Yeah.
Insomnia. Now, here's the thing. If I drink caffeine, because that's the only way I'd take it, is in a Mountain Dew.
Or chocolate.
Or a Dr. Pepper. Oh, yeah, well, in chocolate. But I don't worry about a time limit for chocolate.
You don't do like what I do. Like, you don't go like, I specifically seek out caffeine. Like,
No, I do. No. Okay, so my point is, I have to finish drinking it before about 11:30.
Otherwise, it hits you.
Or I won't be able to sleep. And even if I do have it earlier than that, I still have a hard time sleeping, and it's ridiculous. And for whatever reason, like 3 days ago, all of a sudden, soda tastes really disgusting. I cannot drink soda.
So did you figure out the caffeine makes it harder for you to sleep by sort of like trial and error? Like you had to go a couple of days without having any caffeine and realize, gosh, I slept a lot better tonight. Or
yeah, well, that's what I'm. Well, I mean, I already knew that, yes. But also, yeah, laying in bed and not being able to sleep really sucks.
Yeah, I've noticed it like when I do have, it doesn't actually happen that often for me, but when caffeine does keep me awake, I found like it's just like this overall active mind restless. Like my body might be physically really tired.
I came up with some great ideas, that one night.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes your mind's just going.
I just got out of bed a couple times and be like, okay, write this down.
Yeah, I've done that.
Because I thought they were good ideas, and they were. A couple of them were.
See, this is an interesting point. This shows you how different people adapt to stuff. Like Wittar in the chat room says, I can drink a whole pot of coffee and then go to bed. And I've seen other people say that in the chat room. So it's funny. Mail Holler in the chat room says, not getting my caffeine will cause adverse effects for me and everyone near me.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually, boy, I use caffeine all kinds of creative ways. I can save it if you want to get to this infographic before I share it.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so the last couple nights, because I haven't had caffeine,
you slept better?
I slept hard, and like last night, I woke up at 2 a.m. and when I've woken up after having caffeine at 2 a.m., I'm up for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that happened 3 nights in a row. But when I woke up at 2 a.m., I actually felt like I had a full night's sleep.
Yeah, because you're getting better sleep.
And then I fell right back asleep and got a couple more hours of sleep.
Well, what it really was is more like you felt like you got your regular amount of sleep.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so the other thing is that it also keeps you up because you're peeing, right? Because it's a diuretic. Which, by the way, if for whatever reason you need a diuretic, lemon is a good natural source of diuretic, and it has a lot of healthier benefits.
Okay.
So, anyway, caffeine benefits athletes. There's a 5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight improves endurance by reducing glucose burning and increasing fat burning. And that is why the International Olympic Committee has banned caffeine in competitions.
I've also heard about
which is crazy
people who have heart conditions that down like an energy drink, so that way they have a ton of energy to go exercise at the gym and then have a heart attack.
Well, yeah, no, caffeine is never a good idea if you have a heart condition.
Well, people don't know.
They know that. Yeah.
No, actually, the guy I'm thinking about was like 33. I mean, that guy had no idea he had a heart condition.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you started it with people with a heart condition.
Yeah, okay.
So I was like,
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. 12,000 tons of caffeine is consumed every year. Caffeine overdose can be lethal. We all know that. There's a couple sad YouTube videos, like one about a 14-year-old girl that had 2 giant Monster beverages and died a couple days later.
Whoa, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From the caffeine or from all the other crap?
No, it was caffeine toxicity. It was the actual death report. Yeah.
Jeez.
It was like the equivalent of 12 soda cans of caffeine. That's how much caffeine it was. It was a lot.
Oh my gosh. Well, so what's that say right there? Actually, scroll up just a hair there. It says the lethal dose of caffeine in a human is about 150 milligrams to 200 milligrams. Of body weight.
Of body weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Per kilogram of body weight.
I was about to throw down. So, so you think about that. So if you're 150 pounds and it takes 200 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. Okay, it's hard math to do because of kilograms and pounds.
We don't do kilograms. But yeah.
That's a ass ton of caffeine.
It is a lot of caffeine. So that's 100 cups of coffee in 4 hours.
Okay, there you go.
I was waiting to see how long you'd try to do a calculation.
Your mouth.
False.
Quiet. Your face.
In 2007, a man died from overdose after taking 30 no-dose pills. Did you ever take that?
Well, that's kind of what these are.
Oh.
Which I'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah. Caffeine is completely absorbed within 30 to 45 minutes, and its effects diminish within 3 hours. I call BS. The effects do not diminish in 3 hours. Otherwise, I would be able to have caffeine past 11 o'clock without it affecting me at night.
I think I don't know. I think like the primary effects pass,
sure,
and then there's like residual.
Yeah, there's definitely a residual. Yeah.
Although not really for me so much.
So, okay. Decaffeinated products still have caffeine. It's just under 2.5% of the product is caffeine, which I didn't know.
It's pretty low.
It's kind of handy. So,
Hitler received injections of glucose and caffeine to sustain his energy during the final days of World War II. Yeah. So the word on the street there is that Hitler had a lot of injections of a lot of things.
Right.
All right. Well, now before we get to the next infograph, which is very cool and very official looking. Oh,
I know, right?
Awesome. We should start at the bottom on this one and then work our way up.
Okay, sure.
All right. Maybe we'll go through this and then we'll cover my things because that might people have a little better reference. All right. So I want to cover this one because this is really cool. Let's see if we can dial into it all. Okay. So this is a chart of how much caffeine is in different stuff, and we're starting at the bottom.
I think Hitler's still alive.
Ange, do you really?
No, I'm just no. Just the chat room saying then he blew his brains out. I don't know. I know there's people that that nobody's ever actually.
I think at this point he'd be like corpse. Super old.
No, he was like what, in his 30s, in the 40s?
No.
Oh, I don't know how old he was during World War II.
All right, so a cup of coffee.
He's
decaf.
in Argentina. Look, there's two different people that said he's in Argentina.
Yeah.
Is there a guy named Hitler in Argentina?
Well, no, I've heard that before too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Why is it Argentina?
Oh man, conspiracy bacon. Look at Justin Evolved throwing that out there.
No, he killed himself. All right. So
he was in his 20s in World War One. Okay, well that's World War One.
Yeah. All right. Can we talk about caffeine? can we stop talking about Hitler?
Stay tuned for Hitler.
Maybe we should just do an episode on Hitler.
Right? Maybe.
Okay.
Oh, and then we can talk about fluoride.
Right. Sure.
Right.
I've been there. That really pissed people off.
He'd be 121.
I don't think we want to cover fluoride. Let me tell you.
He's so alive. Okay.
So your drug of choice, Mountain Dew, right here at the very bottom of the spectrum.
I know.
Absolute
so here's
bottom.
the thing. Like I say, I'm addicted to caffeine and Mountain Dew and whatever, but I limit myself to one in a day, and it's like a quarter of a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Because a cup of coffee is it's about half.
Yeah, it is.
A little less than half caffeine content.
Yeah, a brewed cup of coffee.
That's 8 ounces. Yeah. A lot of people drink 12 ounces.
So
at a time.
So you got your Mountain Dews and your Diet Cokes and your Coca-Cola Classics ranging between 35 and 55, okay? Milligrams of caffeine in a serving.
1 2-liter bottle. No.
Red Bull, which I thought was interesting, clocks in under 80, but then you get to your Monsters and your Rockstars.
With a guarana.
Yeah, Monster and Rockstar 160 milligrams. A bunch of Jolt.
Jolt is
280. So, there's a large spectrum here of stuff. And there's actually a website you can go in and they have a massive database. Let me tell you what I do. Because the problem with all of these, well, at least everything on the right-hand side of this and a lot of the stuff on the left-hand side is filled with crap that is bad for you. Right?
Yeah.
Just real bad crap. And there's a lot, you got a great chart here of...
Yeah, this is the level the FDA is determined to be safe, the amount of caffeine. And then at the bottom here, it shows Coca-Cola is safe, AMP Energy Boost, Red Bull, Venom, Monster Energy, Arizona AZ Energy, Full Throttle Fuse, Java Monster, Rockstar, and NOS. NOS. Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So... everything except for Coca-Cola exceeds the FDA determined amount.
So I have two things that I've taken to. This first one here is sort of like if you know in about an hour or so you want to wake up. This is
or not wake up, but you want to be alert.
Yeah, just get get the head fog out. This is ProLab. It's caffeine. Basically, it's a pill, and it's a 200 milligram pill of caffeine, and you can see they're just white, little, and you can kind of see them there. And you just kind of take one of those, and it's like having a cup of coffee or an energy drink without all the other crap that's associated with an energy drink, all the sugar. This is just here you can see the ingredients. It's literally just caffeine and calcium to hold it together, right?
Oh, interesting.
So no junk with that one, and that's nice. The other thing that I have used for years now, and I've talked about it before on the air, is this Stay Alert gum, which I get both of these from Amazon. I just prime them. And I guess the story of Stay Alert gum is it was created for the military.
Links in the show notes.
And you see
affiliated links in the show notes.
And what this is the one that I have found when I go to clients and they see it, they're like, "Oh, what is that? Can I try that?" This is the one that seems to interest people the most. Is these little packets of gum, and each gum is 100 milligrams of caffeine, and you see they come in these little blue sugary squares, and that
They
is the
smell delicious.
yeah, they do. They what did you say, like
Cotton candy.
Cotton
yeah.
candy.
Mm-hmm.
This one's supposed to be Arctic mint, so it doesn't really taste like cotton candy. But the problem with this Sailor gum, and I probably have more of these than I should, is well, it's not that bad. It's only 2 grams of sugar. That's not too bad.
No.
I mean, way better than energy drink, and you get 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Right.
So like this morning,
I think they do have berry flavored.
This morning I woke up and I had like this massive hunger.
Mm-hmm.
But we had to get the kids out the door, and you need to get going, and I didn't have time to make my breakfast drink before you guys had to go, but I needed to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So chewing one of these
Mm-hmm.
buys me like 15 minutes of just kills the appetite for like 15-20 minutes.
Really?
Caffeine's an appetite suppressant. So I can
I actually didn't read that anywhere, but I did read that it.
I can chew one of these and I feel better for about 15-20 minutes.
Well, that's good.
A lot of people
Because it speeds up digestion. Which,
yeah. Well, that's
which we'll talk about.
When you come out the other side of it, you're even more hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
See, there's things like energy drink too, like the 5-hour energy, which is lower on sugar.
Yeah, but great comment reviews on Amazon.
With that. Deep cleaned my entire apartment. I can read minds. That's a pro. Cons. I haven't slept in 72 hours. I can't feel my face. I peed this morning. I'm pretty sure it was 99% blood.
So he said, whatever you do, do not fill up a super big gulp with 5-hour energy and chug the whole thing. My heart has either stopped completely or is beating so fast that I can't feel my own pulse.
I like that it's all in caps too.
Yeah. It's a God help me.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty good.
Link, affiliated link to that is in the show notes. But don't do that at home. So, all right. So let's talk about caffeine and weight gain.
Okay.
I know, right?
Tell me about this, because this is not what I was actually just saying how you could sort of use it to curb appetites, but now you're telling me.
So just like stress and lack of sleep, you can have weight gain because of an increase in cortisol levels. Drinking too much coffee can cause that. So, yeah, it puts extra weight around your waist or body.
Which is bad. That's the
around
worst
your
place to
waist,
get it, unfortunately.
and it's the hardest place to lose it too. So you want to.
Google Docs has decided, by the way, I don't have access to the doc, so I've just requested access to the doc.
Oh my gosh!
I know. I got signed out of Google Docs mid-show. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, I don't mean to derail.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, add. Okay, so it says high cortisol levels promote the accumulation of fat in your belly, the type of fat that not only causes the infamous muffin top, but is also related to a higher risk of metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease.
Yikes.
Caffeine and calories. Of course, you, especially being pregnant, you're told don't drink your calories, and that's an obvious one there. So all the calories from the sugar, from soda and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a problem.
that's going to do it. So if you consume a lot of caffeinated beverages and chocolate most days of the week and struggle with your weight, try cutting it down. Well, that's obvious.
I don't. So this article sounds like it's caffeine weight gain by association, because all the things you're consuming along with caffeine.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really caffeine's fault so much.
It's not caffeine's fault.
It's not really.
Okay, so here's the other thing.
Okay.
Vitamin D.
Vitamin donkey, as I like to call it.
Is really important. Don't.
Oh, all right.
Vitamin D is really important. Couldn't you tell I was
You're building?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have caught that. I didn't realize you were going to make an epic story out of it.
Okay, epic story here. We're in the Pacific Northwest.
That's true.
It rains a lot.
Mostly true.
It's overcast a lot.
That's true.
However, last year we had 100 days with no rain, which was really bizarre, but it was nice. We are vitamin D deficient, but it's not just because the sun is missing. It's because caffeine prevents vitamin D absorption.
Can I show it now?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
So you're telling me when I'm chewing down this gum and I'm popping these caffeine pills so that way I can make all these podcasts, that I'm actually screwing my vitamin D absorption even more.
Caffeine has been shown to negatively affect the efficiency in which the body metabolizes vitamin D. While the caffeine does not actually deplete the body's store of it, the presence of caffeine will slightly deplete the amount of vitamin D the body is able to metabolize.
Okay.
Yeah. So since vitamin D is a component necessary to metabolize calcium, which you said is
that's interesting, isn't it?
yeah, regular overdose on caffeine can be very detrimental to your bones' health, and this is especially true for women over the age of 50. Okay. So, in addition, a vitamin D deficit can be a contributing factor to depression, which is also, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they have the SAD lights, seasonal affective disorder lights.
Right.
Because
Donkey's super important.
You need that vitamin D.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
In fact, so your next article here, the effect of caffeine on vitamin absorption. Caffeine is part of a breakfast meal for many Americans. A lot of people drink coffee with breakfast.
Yep.
Many also take a multivitamin supplement with their breakfast as part of their daily morning routine.
Right.
Not many people are aware that taking vitamins at the same time as a cup of coffee or tea can interfere with the body's absorption of many nutrients.
Which comes to my first suggestion. Don't drink your caffeine with your meals. Drink it at least an hour before or an hour after. And here's the most important reason why. Iron.
Oh.
For me, at least. Okay. Caffeine interferes with the body's absorption of iron, which is necessary for red blood cell production. Drinking caffeine at the same time as an iron source can reduce absorption by up to 80%.
Whoa.
80%. So a Mountain Dew with my steak, I might as well just go get some mac and cheese.
True. Yeah. Wow.
Right. And I already knew calcium prevents the absorption of iron. So I already knew that. So I try to keep calcium and iron separate. But yeah.
I suppose it varies for different people. I wish they gave us more details on like how much caffeine.
Oh yeah, sure. But still, the point is, yeah, you should wait at least an hour. So consider that. Yeah. Obviously, sometimes it is just great to slam down a cold beverage that has caffeine in it with particular foods. I like when I get a Safeway sandwich, during sandwich time. What was it called?
Yeah,
sandwich time unstoked. Those sandwiches, great with a Mountain Dew. Just excellent.
And the other thing too, really, I mean, the optimal way I have found to properly use caffeine is to avoid the up down dips, and to dose caffeine and then continue to small dose throughout the day to keep the caffeine rolling. So that way you don't go up and go down and go up and go down. Kind of like, you'd want to smooth out your drug usage, I guess.
Yeah.
And so the problem with that approach, which is one that I sometimes employ, is that what you're basically telling me is that the entire time I am on a caffeine regime, I am essentially neutering my body's ability to properly absorb some of the stuff that I might be eating during that time.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, okay. So if it speeds up digestion, it's missing. Normally your food would stay in there a little longer so it could get the good nutrients out.
That is a good point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes caffeine can make you poop.
Okay. So here's the thing. Yeah, I skipped that part of the infograph because I've already done the poop episode. So I have a weird thing in my blood. It's called a warm antibody, and it's basically an antibody like H or G or something that goes and attacks healthy red blood cells.
Hello.
So on top of normal pregnancy anemia, I have an additional anemia, and I have to be watched carefully.
That is so hot.
And I'm gonna need to get an iron IV if I don't correct it with my diet. Right? I tried an iron supplement. And I had a date with the toilet that was so horrible that I swore I'd never take another one. But I just got a new brand, and I'm trying it today. And I made sure to take it an hour after I had caffeine. Because I did have caffeine today so that I could be awake for the show.
Angela.
Well, I had to. I just had to.
So you picked a really interesting picture that I want to talk about. So let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay. So it's kind of funny that you chose this one. I don't know if they've done this same thing on like all the drugs?
Yeah.
Okay. So
but
probably
I thought
a lot
that was debunked as being not
really
real. I don't know.
So here's is this one real? It's on Wikipedia,
I think so.
It must be. You see on the left-hand side, there is a standard-looking conventional spider web. On the right-hand side, a spider web that looks like an absolute lunatic spider made it because that's a spider on caffeine.
Yep. I have that. It's in one of the other articles as well.
Oh, okay. I just thought I particularly like that one because if that is really true, now who knows the details on how much caffeine they gave this little spider?
Yeah, that's true.
But I still find that to be pretty wild. Now I don't know if maybe the chat room can do a little flash debunking, but I thought I'm gonna go look for spider web on drugs
and YouTube because there's a video of it. There's a video.
A video. Okay, everything's got to be video with you kids these days.
So, There's a wall of text. Just warning you.
Boom.
Caffeine disrupts sleep. We all know that. Deep sleep is critical to good health. When there's caffeine in your bloodstream, you are unlikely to experience deep sleep at all, which is something I warned Dreams Void of. It's why his dreams are void.
Oh.
Why he's void of dreams.
It all comes together.
Yeah. So your memory isn't as good because of it, but also, yeah, you just don't get into that deep sleep. So caffeine at any time of the day can cause sleep problems, especially if you're under stress. And I am walking proof of that. So
Gross.
Ew.
Oh, there's a spider in the
okay.
video. Oh, look at the spider. Look at it. Just look at it. Get grossed out real quick. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
Okay, so
why did you tell me load? Why'd you have me load that up? Oh,
I didn't.
You told me to go on YouTube and look at a video.
No, there was a better video where the spider isn't so big and it's sped up like so that. Okay, so anyway, malnutrition is one of the most well-defined effects of habitual caffeine intake.
Well,
right?
like we talked about.
Let me repeat that. If you intake caffeine, you're more likely to have malnutrition because of the fast digestion and you consume more, and what you're consuming with the caffeine probably is not healthy, and et cetera, et cetera.
For the record, to the chat room, I kill the spiders in the house.
He does. They freak me out.
I have to man up. You can see how much I like them.
Yeah.
I gotta swallow it and just get it done.
So anyway, let's see. We already talked about contributing to depression.
Heyo.
Yeah, meh. Okay. So that's enough from that wall of text.
Did you, not related at all, but did you see that there was a major French study that just wrapped up about bras? You should look into it. It's very relevant to your interests about boobs.
What about it? Tell me.
It's not important. It's not on topic. Maybe we can save it for a future episode.
Okay, well, you can tell me after the show.
All right. Now, this is great.
All right, so
for all of us caffeine lovers.
In the show notes, there is a link, an affiliated link to this mug. It's kind of cool. It's the caffeine molecule, and it's in a clear mug, which I think is cool. I like clear mugs.
Yeah, well, you get to see your beverage of choice.
Yeah.
You can see like if something's settling and you need to stir it.
Yeah. Yep. So that is in there.
Okay.
And
we'll have links. So, you know what? We'll put links to the Stay Alert gum and links to this in the show notes. And if you guys grab those via the links in the show notes, a portion of your purchase will support this very
Jupiter
show.
Broadcasting.
Supports the Jupiter Broadcasting Network. And we appreciate that. You know, Ange, before we get out of here, we probably ought to do a little bit of mail sack report.
Whoa.
What do we got? What do we got in the Jupiter mail sack there, Ange?
Now, the mail sack is rather large right now because I have a lot of submissions of TechSnap 100 t-shirts.
Oh, cool.
And I think next week is the week.
Really? We're going to do the award show next week?
I think so.
Boom.
I'm pretty sure. Stay tuned for that official announcement. And it will be coming out in the newsletter, which will be Monday or Tuesday, probably Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes. You can subscribe to that at bit.ly/Jupiter Signal.
Yes.
And just a side note, if you sign up for our Jupiter Signal, which you do completely voluntarily,
You should, though.
don't report it as spam
Ouch.
to MailChimp.
People don't know. I know.
It's just crazy. Like, no.
The thing about
So-
what people don't realize is MailChimp physically abuses us when you do that. They physically send a monkey down
somebody
here.
that received the newsletter every month and opened it every month then reported it as spam. Like, just unsubscribe, for crying out loud.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
not that hard.
No.
Okay.
But I just, before you move on,
Yeah.
we got some upgrades down the road
Upgrade.
to the Signal coming. So
Yes.
now would be
Oh, man.
now would be a good time to jump into the
See,
Signal.
this was my late night caffeine idea.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was mine.
No.
Really?
No.
Really? Okay,
Really?
good. Well, it's
Are
a good
you
idea.
serious?
Well, it just means I like it a lot.
Yeah. I like it so much.
I thought it was mine. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, now would be a good time to sign up because then you'll just get the edition that has the fanciness when we have it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fancy.
I don't want to say any more than that.
I know. I'm super excited though, and it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me like, wow.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was still up working.
Yeah.
And you came down to my office.
Yep.
And you're like, I got an idea.
And I've got several ideas, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay. And you know what he said? He said, okay, let me get a piece of paper. And he went to his keyboard.
Did I really?
let me write it down. I was like, all right. Anyway, okay.
right.
Mail sack.
Mail sack.
Andy writes,
Hey, Andy.
hey, Just wondering what video switcher you are using for your show. You seem to have everything laid
Video
out.
switcher? What are you talking about? We don't have a video switcher.
You have everything laid out so well, and your cuts are fantastic with all the CG and green screen.
Wow. Well, thanks, Andy. We're just using Telestream's Wirecast, which anybody can grab. The downside is it does require the Macintosh operating system or the Windows operating system. My personal experience is it works quite a bit better on the Macintosh. I run it on a Hackintosh myself, so you don't have to have a
I'm
Mac.
pretty sure he meant this.
Oh, like the actual, how do I actually switch? No, really? No, because he said compositing and stuff.
No, he didn't. There's nothing about compositing.
Oh, CG and green screen. Well, that's compositing.
Oh, okay. Well, he said, I'm just wondering what video switcher you are using for your show.
Well, so for the actual pushing of the buttons, we have a Shuttle Pro here, which they don't make anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I know. And then Wirecast for the software.
Hey, Leanna.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Andy. How do people send in their questions to the Faux Show, Ange?
So you can email me, Angela at jupiterbroadcasting.com. There's this handy information here in the show doc.
Well, that's in the show notes then. We have our G pluses and
all these different ways.
Yeah. And also, you can go to jupiterbroadcasting.com and click the contact link. Probably
Oh, yeah.
choose one of the options there.
There's a drop-down box for which show, and then it comes specifically to the Faux Show. But yeah, I want to see your TechSnap 100 shirts in any fashion, and I've received them in several fashions, and it'll be really funny next week. Yeah.
I also have one thing to plan before we go.
Oh,
plug.
Yes.
Right? We got the new show.
Why didn't we get that at the top?
Well, we forgot. We were excited about caffeine. According to Google Voice, by the way, I have 63 voicemails that I haven't checked.
Oh, geez.
Look at that. So Plan B, new show.
Mouse cursor.
New show is launched, and it's all about Bitcoin. Very excited. It's got some great reception. And can I play the intro? Do you mind?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll play it. Here, let me get this here. Here, I'll play it real quick. It's called Plan B, and it's with myself and Drew. This is Plan B, Episode 1 for April 10th, 2013. And welcome to the first episode of Plan B, Jupiter Broadcast. Pretty fancy.
Yeah, that is epic.
So that's Plan B, and the first beta episode came out yesterday, and will be live on Tuesdays over at jblive.tv.
At 2 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah, which 2 p.m. Pacific, which works out to be
9 p.m. GMT.
And 5 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of The Faux Show. We will see you next week. Don't forget, you can catch recent episodes of The Faux Show on jupiterbroadcasting.com/Faux Show. Also, get them on demand in the iTunes store. Search for Faux Show.